Okay, dumb thing number 4, okay? And this has been going on since the advent of digital and the internet, and it keeps coming. Like, it's just one of those things, like, it doesn't work, and so they do more of it. Or they try to slice and dice it another way. And here's the gist of it, okay? Over the years, there have been companies that have come in and they've tried to, and some of them have been successful, and I'll explain that in a minute, but what they're doing is they're trying to bring technology in between the photographer and the end client, okay? And it usually is something to do with posting images on a website or ordering on the internet where that company takes a cut and they're standing between the photographer. And now I've seen this new company come out, I don't name names, you'll see it, where they have an app. Right, every parent on picture day needs to download the app, right? Okay, because that's a good idea. And then somehow they can order, but see, that company in the middle, when you have these companies in the middle, generally speaking, you've got to use credit cards for all the orders, right? And then that company in the middle takes a percentage, okay? So now it's like these great thinkers, the software and whatever, and they have facial recognition where, like people can find their kid's picture, I guess, by showing them another picture of the kid or whatever. I don't really get all of it, and I don't need to. Because all I know is that at the end of the day, it's the company in the middle taking some of your money and telling you that you have to use a credit card so banks can take some of your money, and that somehow that's going to benefit you, okay? Because it's so terrible, for some reason, for you to have a picture day where people prepay, hand you cash, okay? Cash, that's terrible. Checks and credit cards. Somehow, that's terrible. It all needs to be credit cards because everything needs to be credit cards because you love paying the bank 2.5% of your money. And then you give them 4 or 5 or 8 or whatever crazy amount they want because they're in the middle. And then somehow that's going to make your life easier because it was so complicated before. People had to download an app to order from you. And that's easier. So, anyway, here's some stories, okay? A few years ago, I've had, over the years, various people tell me that they were going to put me out of business or that I was somehow going to get left behind, okay? This was one guy. So, this guy told me that I had called him because I wanted to sell him plaques and frames, and he read me the riot act. Like, how dare me think that he would be that kind of photographer that would sell plaques and frames? He was taking this to a new level. He was going to put guys I'm going to put guys like you out of business. I'll never forget. He had financial backing. He had a huge building, and they were going to go out or I guess they did, right? And shoot the kids, and then they were going to make all these posters and graphics, and the kids were going to order on the internet, and his average sale was going to be $80, whatever the number he pulled out of wherever he pulled it out of. So they have a big building. They rent a building. They have backing. They have, I don't know, some hedge fund guy. I don't know. And he's going to put me out of business, okay? And I don't name names, but they did a league or two in an area that's kind of unique. They filmed The Desperate Housewives of Orange County in this area. It's an extremely affluent area, okay? And I guess they thought they could, I don't know, I'm kind of flabbergasted, but maybe they made some money doing these graphics, right? I don't know. And they're like, we're going to take this all over the country, okay? And I was just stunned listening to the guy talk to me. And I was like, this guy isn't going to last a year because he just doesn't understand this business, And so, after a year, you call the number, it's disconnected. They're out of business. It's a big empty building. All the investors lost their money. And again, it's somebody taking our business and trying to morph it into something where people order creations on the internet. And that was maybe 15 years ago, okay? Might even have been longer. So that's kind of the, first iteration. Then, sort of around the same time, I'm old, it kind of comes and goes in my head when this stuff happened. There were companies that came out and they told the leagues, what we're going to do, instead of having to deal with money on picture day, is we're going to use these websites like Photo Reflect, and there's various websites, file sharing. And we're going to shoot the kids' pictures, and then we're going to post them up on the internet. Okay? And we'll get the account away from the current guy that does it the old school way, which is they have to prepay, and that sucks, prepaying, right? That sucks. The league runs, oh yeah, because they don't get to pick a picture. And we'll shoot 8 pictures of every kid, because, why not just shoot one good one? You got to shoot 8 good ones or bad ones. And we're going to post them on the internet, okay? And we're going to let the people order from us there. Okay, well, that didn't last very long at all, and I had some numbers from one league. The company that did it took a $6,000 league and turned it into a $600 league, okay? Because what happens in youth sports, okay, if you don't get the money on picture day, you don't get the money, okay? Because by the time you post it all up in the internet and communicate with the people how to order, they look at the picture on the internet and they just don't motivate on ordering because they saw the picture, they realized they could take it themselves, okay? They've got to go through all the rigmarole and the password and this, and they just don't do it because 3 weeks later their kid's in another sport or they're in school. So this whole thing about not collecting the money up front, okay, is, to me, the guy that was going to pay me out of business with the graphics and all that, and to post everything on the website, those people failed immediately, okay? Because in my niche, you collect the money up front or you don't collect it, okay? So please keep that in mind. More examples. Okay, so, this was another one. Maybe 10 years ago, company comes along, and they called me, because I do leagues, and they want to talk me into still collecting money up front, okay, because by then everybody realized if you didn't collect it up front, you never collected it. But the way you do it is you'd shoot the picture, somehow collect the money up front, send it to them, and then they mailed it to the parent, but I guess they collected the money up front, and then they sent you a check or something like that. I can't, something along those lines, but it was all internet-based, and, that you as a photographer didn't need to handle the money, they handled it all, they took the orders, and they sent you the money. But it was prepaid, like you still prepaid. I can't remember the details. But again, it was an internet company, they're gonna be in the middle, they're taking some of your money. And there were some people that saw this as a good idea, paperless picture day or whatever it was. And they bit into it. And I talked to one guy in San Jose that did it. And again, details are fuzzy, but it's all the same concept, right? Well, that company very quickly disappeared with the money and the images, because remember they had the images. I don't know what lab they used on the back end, okay? But they were just probably some guys in an office that talked some people into somehow allowing themselves to be in the middle of this process. Okay, so I guess the one message there is, as a photographer, as a business person, anytime somebody wants to put themselves in between your money and your customers, and they stick themselves in the middle there, okay? Credit card companies, we got to deal with them, right? We got to pay them their 2%. They're in the middle. But anytime somebody wants to do that, be careful, because they have a lot of control over your business, okay? And again, as with all things, ask yourself, am I going to make more money? How does my average go up, okay? How do I make more money? And there's a new company out there, and I saw it, and you download an app, and there's a guy with a nice voice that says how easy it is, and they show some parent ordering $186 worth of pictures on their app, okay? Notice they don't show some parent ordering $14 worth of pictures on their app, okay? So it like makes you think, wow, that's really cool. I'm gonna get $186 orders, okay, on this app, and my sales are gonna go up. But again, please, I want someone to tell me, in this year I had this amount of sales and I had this amount of participation. I went to this company that has the Picture Day app. I forget what they call it, but I'm sure they'll be advertising the heck out of it because they always have a lot of money backing them. And then after I had the $6,000 league, and then I signed up with them, and it turned into a $10,000 league, and I made more money, and I worked less, okay? I'm looking for someone to show me that because I'm open-minded. Maybe somebody will get it right, okay? But so far, nobody has, and I'm not talking about school pictures. I'm talking about the team and individual youth sports photography market. People do order school pictures online because it's the one, everybody gets them year after year. But I still think it decreases your sales. Like my thing, guys, is don't take a picture unless you get paid. The idea that you're going to work today and take photos of kids and later somehow get an order from that, don't do that. Get some money up front, have them buy something up front, then take the picture. Maybe later you get some reorders. I've heard, I don't get a lot of reorders. Some people tell me they get a lot. I still haven't, nobody will tell me how they get a lot. They just say they do, but I don't know if it's true or not, but a lot of stuff I hear, I just can't verify because people won't talk to me about it, But maybe it's just because they're saying it and it's not true, but that's fine. So I want you all to be careful of technology and companies that are trying to insert themselves between you and your customer, and they take your money and then they somehow give it back to you later, okay? And please, if somebody finds a miracle program or app or whatever that gets them more money than they had doing it the old school way, and you love giving up all that cash for those credit cards, right? And it's such a hassle to take the checks to the bank or whatever. So you tell me, if you're watching this and you do leagues, you tell me where that league is that the sales doubled or, for the amount of work. And again, factor in the labor, okay? I mean, don't tell me that you spent 30 hours one year and you made $600 and the next year you did something and you spent, you made $800 but you spent 50 hours because I'm going to take the amount of money you made and divide it by the hours and say, look, you just gave yourself a pay decrease. I mean, maybe you netted out more money, but, so I'm still looking, I got to pay people to do it. So when I talk about making more money, I'm talking about with the same or less effort, making more money, okay? So if anybody finds an app or something and they can show me concrete examples, I'd love to hear it. And I'd love to talk to that company because you know what? I'll copy it, I'm all about copying good ideas, I haven't had too many myself because there just, to me, aren't too many to have in this business, other than keep it simple. So that's dumb thing number 4, letting other companies stand between you and your customer and hold your money.